Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Di sini saya akan menjelaskan tentang background to conversation analysis. Jadi, transcription convention adalah menjelaskan konvensi utama untuk merincikan detail produksi vokal ucapan dalam interaksi percakapan. Karena ini digunakan di sebagian besar publikasi conversation analysis. Jadi, conversation analysis itu an approach to the study of social interaction that emerged in the 1960s in the writing and lectures of the late sociologist Harvey Sachs, and was consolidated in his collaboration with Emmanuel A. Skelgop and Gail Jefferson in the later 1960s. Conversation analysis is a specific form of investigation or inquiry. A conversation refers to or more individuals talking with one another just for the sake of talking. It is a form of sociability and reflects an individual ability and willingness to interact with others. Yang ketiga, saya akan menjelaskan tentang sequence and structure in conversation. Sequencing plays an important role in the structuring of our conversation, not only on the level of formal signal, but also on the level of what the utterance mean, or of how they function. Sequence and structure in conversation itu dibagi menjadi 3, yaitu yang pertama ada agency pairs, pre-sequence, and insertion sequence. Yang pertama ada agency pairs. Agency pairs is a unit of conversation that contains and a chain of one turn each by two speakers. The turns are functionally related to each other in such a fashion that the first turn requires a certain type or range of types of second turn. Jadi agency pairs dalam analisis percakapan terdapat hubungan antara ujaran yang satu dengan ujaran yang lainnya. Ujaran beserta responnya tersebut memiliki tata urutan otomatis yang disebut dengan pasangan berdampingan atau agency pairs. Sequence is a sequence which include a turn recognizable as potential initiation of another specific type of turn. Example, someone is a turn preceding an explanation. Ada inserting sequence. An inserting sequence is a sequence of turns that intervenes between the first and second part of an agency pair. The topic of the inserting sequence is related to that of the main sequence in which is occurs, and the question from the main sequence is returned to an answer after the insertion. The normal flow of the conversation is not stopped in this case. Mungkin itu saja dari saya. Kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Sekar Arum, and I will continue on the next explanation of preference organization, feedback, and repair. So the preference organization, it is the part of adjacency pair. So previously we talked about the adjacency pair, which is the pair utterance of the first and the second utterance where it's connected with each other. And in preference organization, we can freely to respond the first pair of adjacency pairs. So it is the freedom that the listener or the interlocutor have to answer or respond the first pair of adjacency pairs. And in this example, the first pair part, it can be request, invitation, question, blame, and assessment. And the second pair part, we have the freedom to choose whether the favored one or disfavored one. And the example of that is in the request, the first pair part is the request, like in this example, do you want to buy the carrots at the groceries? And the acceptance will be, yes, I will buy the carrots for you, or you can refuse that. I'm too busy to go to the groceries. You can do by yourselves. And invitation also in the same way, when someone invites us, we can accept or we can refuse the invitation, or when someone is asking us the question, we can answer it with the expected answer or the unexpected answer. Or when someone blames us, we can deny the blame and we can admit that. Or in the assessment, we can agree with the speaker or we can disagree with the speaker. You can see in this example, how long has he been an apprentice butcher? Not very long. How long? Maybe 3-4 months, I'm not sure. Is now employed? No, just leave it, that's fine. So in this second one and the second part of the adjacency pair, so there are 3 adjacency pairs in here. The solicitor asked the client, how long has he been an apprentice butcher? And client answered by not very long, which is the pivot one. And then solicitor asked again, how long? Maybe 3-4 months, I'm not sure. And the client answering it by this pivot one, which is the expected answer from the solicitor. And in the third pair of adjacency pair, the solicitor asked, is now employed? And the client answered, no, just leave it, that's fine. So the sentence in here, no, just leave it, that's fine. It's not the expected answer from the solicitor. The solicitor wants the client to answer his or her question, but the client is not answering the solicitor question, and it will be in the unexpected answer. And there's also in session sequence, there's between the adjacency pairs, between the first and the second pair of adjacency pairs, there will be another adjacency pairs that's common in the conversation. And you can see in that example, Rian starts the adjacency pair and, can I have a DJ too? Is that okay? And Rian is expected Mary, which is his mother in this case, to answer it, yes or no. But Mary is asking someone to join their conversation, and Mary is calling John, and John asking what, and Mary asks, can we have a DJ? And Rian is answering, because you won't be spending on food, so I thought, well, how much does a DJ cost? Yeah, I've got to find out. So in this pair, so the Rian is the first pair of adjacency pairs, but Mary, which is his mother, doesn't answer the Ryan's adjacency pairs directly. And she asked for John, and John and Mary have the conversation, and Rian joined the conversation as well, joined the adjacency pairs of John and Mary, and finally John and Rian reached the conclusion. And there's feedback. So feedbacks, it is happen in the conversation where the listeners or the interlocutor giving their feedback for what have just been said by the speaker. So feedback can be identified by the use of words from, yeah, true, really, and the phrases form, very good, that's true. And in the sentence form, the listener or the interlocutor can paraphrasing what the speaker has just said, or the sentence, that's it, or it's true, or don't say it. And in the form of body language, like noted or using eye contact and the others. And this is the example of feedback and conversation. So when lecturer asks, and the middle one is, and Tadashi and Kylie was giving feedback to each other, like, yeah, community, paraphrasing the word. So repair, it is the way that the speaker or someone else in that conversation corrects the false information. And there are 2 kinds of repairs. The first is self-repair, and the second is other repair. So it is the example and also the explanation. So in the self-repair, the speaker is repairing her or his explanation before because he or she just realized that the information that they delivered is not true. And this is the example because he's got a girlfriend, a woman, and the client is correcting by her or himself. It's not a girlfriend, but it is a woman without someone correcting it. And the other repair, it is someone in that conversation, the listener or interlocutor in that conversation that repair the mistaken information that just being delivered by the speaker. Like in this example, barista said Michael is employed as an apprentice butcher, and the client said, "Oh, not Michael, Alan." And the client is repairing of what barista that just said that the employed one is not Michael, but it's Alan by the use of intonation here. And that's my explanation about preference organization, feedback, and repair. And the next explanation will be delivered by Agil Tiara. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Agil Tiara and I will continue my presentation of our group, and the title is about conversation analysis. So today I will explain two topics. First, gender and conversation analysis and criticism of conversation analysis. About gender and conversation analysis, gender is referred to the characteristic of all women, men, girls, and boys that are socially constructed. This include norms, behavior, and rules associated with being a woman, man, girls, or boy, as well as relationship with each other. As a social construct, gender varies from society to society and can change over time. Conversational analysis is revealed about how people construct or assume gender in interaction. The purpose, sorry, the purpose of conversational analysis in a term of gender is help to reflect social society. In this case, to reflect the social assumption or construction of gender. With Withdrawal 2002 in page 1014 discussed the concept of gender noticing for accounting for gender when speakers make it explicit that is a relevant feature of the conversation interaction. The analysis of data from a conversation analysis perspective can help reveal aspects of gender interaction that might otherwise not be considered. Stark 2003, for example, does this in her analysis of gender and neighbor dispute using membership categorizing. uh, Cyclops 2007 analysis saw how, in the neighborhood dispute she examined, the category woman was drawn on by people in engaged in the interaction to legitimate complaint against their neighbor, as well as to build defenses against their complaint. The following example for her data illustrated this. In this example, Edgar and Vernon are talking about the neighbor for a television documentary called Neighbor at War. In their view, bad women are full-mouthed, argue in the street, and are bullies. Edgar and Vernon thus engage in gender noticing in their negative evaluation of their female neighbors. So, gender can analyze with conversation analysis with perspective too. Next, about criticism of conversation analysis. Conversation analysis has very many strengths. It has also attracted criticism. Baxter 2002 in page 153 describing conversation analysis as an invaluable tool for the analysis of spoken discourse, also described it as somewhat monolithic. And Hammersley, 2003, argued that conversation analysis view of itself as a self-sufficient research tool is problematic. That is, the view that it does not need data other than the conversation to explain and justify its claims. An example, Seglov gives Seglav gives the example of a study of two parents in a strained relationship, either separated or divorced, talking about their son on the telephone. As Hammersley shows, there is no information about the relationship between the people involved in the conversation in the transcript. This information is, however, crucial to an understanding of the conversation and is, in fact, drawn on by Seilov in his analysis and interpretation of the data. Just because something is not observable in the data, then does not mean that it's not relevant. Seigloff and Hammersley argue that conversation analysis does not tell us all to know about human social life. This is my summary. And next, and Witherall, 1998, argued that conversation analysis would benefit from considering post-structuralist view on discourse, such as agency and the subject position speakers take up in the discourse, rather than just looking at the text itself. That is, the analysis would be enhanced by considering the position speakers take speakers take and the social and cultural value that underline how they perform in the discourse. Okay, maybe that's all about my explanation. I'm sorry about my mistake, and I'm sorry about my pronunciation if not clear. I say thank you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.